Hello friends, now we start with Python Unit 4. Unit 4 we are going to see the object-oriented programming. What is meant by object-oriented programming in the Python? So what is the OOPS concept? Before this session, before this coming to the SYT in first year, in second semester, you can also see another one object-oriented programming, that is C++. That is C++, next version of C. So this is also known as OOPS, object-oriented programming. But C++ is not a fully object-oriented programming because we can run the program without object also. So you can use the OOPS concept in Python also. So that's why here the topic is known as the Python OOPS concepts. Python OOPS concepts. Let's see how OOPS concepts are used in Python. Like other general purpose programming language, Python is also object oriented since it is beginning. So from the beginning, it is also uses the object oriented programming concepts. It allows us to develop application using an object oriented approach. In Python, we can easily create and use classes and object. In Python, we can also create a classes and easily use the objects in Python. An object-oriented palindrome is to design the program using the classes and objects. The objects is related to the real-world entity such as book, house, principal, etc. The OOPS concept focuses on writing the reusable code. It is uh, technique to solve the problem by creating the objects. So what is meant by object? We can divide the large number of a large problem into number of entities. We can divide our large problem into number of entities. That entities are known as the objects. So previously we can see the concept of OOPS describing using the C++, we can see one example of college management system, that is CMS. So in this Python also we can continue that example. So how we can define the object? So in college management system, admission, student information, class information, attendance, subject information, exam information, library, result, teacher information, administration, these are the objects. And college management system is the one of the most big problem. You can divide that problem into a number of entities, that is class, student information, class information, attendance, exam. That all concepts are known as the objects. And depending on that object, we can write a code, and to solve that small problem, we can write a code. Okay, that is known as the object oriented programming, because we can depend on that object. That's why it is known as the object oriented programming. Now we see the major principles of object oriented programming system are given below. Some main concepts of OOPS, that is object oriented programming, are class. Without class, we doesn't imagine the object oriented programming. An object, method, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction, and encapsulation. These are the main principles of object oriented programming system. Now we see one by one what is meant by class, object, method, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction, and encapsulation. Class. In class, the class can be defined as a collection of objects. Class is a collection of objects. Let us see, take an example of a student. So name of the student, class of the student, subject of the student, these are the some objects of that class. So relating that problem, relating that object, we can write a code into that class. That's why it is known as the defined as a collection of objects. It is a logical entity that has some specific attribute and methods. In that class, we can define some specific attribute, that is also known as some variables, and methods to store the information into that variable. We can use the variables or methods. Using that methods, we can store the value into that variable. Let us take an example. If you have an employee class, then it should contain an attribute and method, that is email ID, name, and salary. Let us take another example of employee. If you can define a class named as an employee, so attribute of that class is email ID of employee, name of that employee, age of that employee, and salary of that employee, etc. So these are the attributes of that class. So storing that information, we can use the method. Using the method, we can store the information into that attribute or variable. So see the syntax of the class. It is class, it is a keyword. It can indicate that we can define a class here. Then class name, name of the class and colon sign. Then statements, the attributes and methods which are being defined in that class has been declared below the class name. So this is a syntax of class. So class is a very important concept. It is a collection of related attributes and methods related to that object. Then object is an entity that has state and behavior. It is an entity that has state and behavior. It may be a real world object like mouse, keyboard, chair, table, pen. These are also comes under the category of objects. Everything in Python is an object and almost everything has attribute and methods. So everything is considered as object, and for that object, everything is an attribute and methods. All functions have been built in attribute underscore doc underscore. So all functions are built in attribute like underscore doc underscore, which returns the doc string defined in the function source code. When we define a class, it needs to create an object to allocate a memory. When we define a class, it needs to allocate the memory. Consider the following example, how we can allocate the memory to store the information. Let's take example of class. Class is the keyword and car is the name of the class. Then to write to define of that class, we can write a colon sign and define def is a defined function. That's why we can write a keyword like def underscore init underscore self is a inbuilt variable to take a reference for that attribute. So that's why self is a work as a object also or reference object to store the information in that attribute or variable. So model name and year. Self dot model name is equals to model name. Self dot year is equals to year. So def display is the name of the method, and you can pass an object like self. So it automatically take a value of model name and year into that object, reference object. Then we can print self dot model name, self dot year. So everything in the Python is object. Let's see self, 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 and self. Okay, everything that Python is object. So all information will be stored on a reference variable that is self. Then we can create an object of that class that is C1 is equals to car. Object name is equals to class name. And you can pass the parameter into that class that is Toyota, that is model name, and 2016, that is year of that model when it is released. So C1 is equals to car into bracket double quote Toyota, comma 2016. So C1 dot display, it can display the information which will be passed into that class. Okay, see how it is work. When we pass Toyota and 2016, it will comes to model name and year. It will be assigned to the self dot model name and self dot year. Okay, then this reference variable or object will pass on the def display method, and that method will print the value which will be stored into the self object, that is print self dot model name comma self dot year. It will print the model name and year. Then we can call that function to display information which will be stored in the function, that is Toyota 2016. See, they are also explaining the example like in the above example, we have created the class named car, and it has two attributes, model name and year. It has two attributes, model name and year. We have created a C1 object to access the class attribute. We can create the object like C1 to access the attribute. The C1 object will allocate memory for this value. C1 object can allocate memory, the number of attributes we can pass, that number of value or memory size will be allocated by that syntax using the C1 is equals to char into bracket parameter values. We will learn more about class and objects in the next tutorial. Okay. Then what is meant by method? The method is a function that is associated with an object. In Python, method is not unique to class instance. Any object type can have method. So any type method will be accessed in the Python. So it is not unique method. It is used to define a function, write a code to define a object. So what is meant by inheritance? Inheritance is accessing the properties of another class. So reusability of data concept will be implemented using the inheritance. It can acquire the properties of another class. Let's see how it will be defined. Inheritance is the most important aspect of object-oriented programming, which simulates the real-world concept of inheritance. It's specific that the child object acquires the properties and behaviors of parent object. It can access the values or objects and properties of parent objects like father and child. Child can acquire the properties of father, same as the parent object values or properties can acquire by child object. So it is the another concept and important concept of reusability of data. By using inheritance, we can create a class which use all the properties and behavior of another class. See here, by using the inheritance, we can create a class which use all the properties and behavior of another class. Using the parent class, we can create a child class. Using the parent class, we can create another human class, that is child. So child class can acquire the properties and behavior of parent class. Child class can acquire the properties and behavior of parent class. The new class is known as derivative class or a child class, and another one whose properties are acquired known as the base class or the parent class. The new class which is derived as known as the child class, and that child class which will be defined by that class is known as the parent class. It provides the reusability of the code or data. It can provide the facility of reusability of code or the data. Then we see polymorphism. Polymorphism, that is one name, multiple form. Polymorphism, which will be explained in one line, that is one name, multiple form. One concept can do or use for multiple purpose. So polymorphism contains two words, poly and morphism. Poly means many and morph means shape. The polymorphism, we understand that one task can be performed in a different way. See, it is very important word or sentence. By polymorphism, we can understand that one task can be performed in different way. One method can be performed in different way, or one task can be performed in different way. For example, you have a class animal and all the animals speak, but they speak differently. Here, the speak behavior is polymorphic in the sense of dependence on the animal. So the abstract animal concept does not actually speak, but specific animal like dog and cats have a correct implementation of an action speak. So just take in memory, that is one name, multiple form. One method can perform a different task using the parameter. That is polymorphism. We will discuss that concept in separately in polymorphism point. Then encapsulation. Encapsulation means what? Collection of different attributes or methods. Okay, that is encapsulation. That is means for we can use the capsule. So different kinds of items can comes under the one single capsule. Or encapsulation is also essential aspect of object-oriented programming. It is used to restrict access to method and variables. In encapsulation, code and data are wrapped together within a single unit for being modified by the accident. It is very important point. In encapsulation, code and data are wrapped together within a single unit. The code and data are wrapped within a single unit. That concept is known as the polymorphism. The important example, a main example of that encapsulation is class. In class, we can encapsulate code and methods of that object, of that concept. That is encapsulation. Data abstraction. Data abstraction and encapsulation both are often used as synonyms. Both are the nearly synonyms because data abstraction is achieved through the encapsulation. Abstraction is used to hide internal details and show only functionalities. The main work of the abstraction is to hide the internal details and show only the functionalities. Abstraction something means to give a name to things so that name capture the core of what functions or whole program does. So these are the main concepts of object-oriented programming, that is class, object, method, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, data abstraction. It is also important part. It will be 101% asked in your theory exam also or Viva also. Okay, these are the main pillar of object-oriented programming. We can see separately one by one this concept in object-oriented programming. Then we can see what is the difference between object-oriented and procedure-oriented programming language. Because in Python, in the syllabus, we can see both type of programming language, that is procedure-oriented programming language using Python and object-oriented programming using the Python. So both concepts are implemented in Python. So that's why initially we have to know what is the difference between object-oriented versus procedure-oriented programming language. The difference between object-oriented and procedure-oriented programming language is given below. So in object-oriented programming language, object-oriented programming is the problem-solving approach and use where the computation is done by using the objects. When it is a object-oriented programming language used to solve the large problems into the very easy way, and it is used where when we use the object concepts, then in that situation we can use the object-oriented programming language, or it is developed or executed depending on the object. In procedure-oriented programming language, use a list of instructions to do computation step by step. One by one or procedure-wise, this code will be executed. It is not depend on any object. That's why it is known as the procedure-oriented programming language. It makes the development and maintenance easier. So object-oriented programming can define or divide the large problem into a number of entities, small entities, so that it is very easy to maintain and develop. In procedure-oriented programming language, it is not easy to maintain the codes when the project becomes lengthy. The large projects does not compatible with the procedure-oriented programming language because it is very difficult to maintain and develop. It simulates the real world entity. So real world problems can be easily solved through the OOPS. Its main purpose to solve the real life problems. So that's why it is very easy to solve the real life problems using the OOPS. It is not simulates the real world. So it works on the step-by-step instruction divided into the small part. It's called function. Okay. It provides the data handling, so it is more secure than procedure language. OOPS provide data handling, so it is more secure than procedure language. So you cannot access the private data from anywhere. In OOPS, we have the different kinds of secret threads, so we does not access the private data anywhere. In procedure-oriented language, does not provide any proper way for data binding, so it is less secure. Then in OOPS, example of object-oriented programming language is C++, Java, .NET, Python, C#, etc. And example of procedure-oriented language are C, Fortran, Pascal, VB, etc. These are the main difference between object-oriented programming and procedure-oriented programming language. Now we see in detail what is meant by Python, class and objects. We have already discussed in previous tutorial, a class is a virtual entity and class being seen as a blueprint of an object. The class comes into existence when it initiated. Let's understand it by an example. Suppose a class is a prototype of a building. A building contains all the details about the floor, room, door, window, etc. We can make a mini buildings as we want based on the details. Hence, the building can be seen as class and we can create many objects of this class. So floor, room, door, windows are the basic concepts of the different kinds of buildings. So using that buildings, we can create building class. We can create object of that building, and using that object, we can create multiple buildings. On the other hand, the objects is the instance of class. The process of creating an object can be called initiation. In this section of tutorial, we will discuss creating class and objects in Python. We will also discuss how a class attribute is accessed by using the object. So how creating the class in Python? In Python, a class can be created by using keyword class, followed by an class name. The syntax to create a class is given below. See, class is a keyword. It defines that we are going to declare a class here. And the class name is the name of the class, then colon sign, then statement suit, whatever we are going to write a code, declare attribute, variable, and methods. In Python, we must notice that each class is associated with a documentation string, which can be accessed by using the class. Underscore doc and underscore a class contain a statement suite including field, constructor, function, etc. definition. Consider the following example to create a class employee which contain two fields as employee ID and name. The class also contain a function display which is used to display the information of the employee. Then class is a keyword, employee is the name of the class, colon sign, ID is an attribute where we are declared like a variable, ID equals to 10 and name is equals to Devansh. In DEF, it can defines that we can declare a method here. So DEF keyword is here and name of that method or function that is display. To access the parameter from that class, we can define attribute, self attribute that is self, reference variable, print self.id and self.name. It is a syntax of the class. Class is a keyword, name implies the name of the class, colon sign can define, we can define a class, id is equals to 10, name equals to Devansh. We can declare a variable like id and name. Also, we can define a value of that variable. Def defines that it is a keyword. It is defined that we are going to declare a definition of function. That's why we can write a def. The name of that function that is displayed, and we can use a reference variable to access the values which will be stored in the class, that is self. It is common to all class. Then print self.id, comma self.name. Here the self is used to reference variable which refers to the current class object. It is only a reference to a current class object. It can access the value which is stored in the current class object. It is always the first argument in the function definition. However, using the self is optional in the function call. The self parameter refers to the current instance of the class and access the class variables. So self parameter is used to access variables in the class. We can use anything instead of class self, but it must be the first parameter of any function which belongs to the class. So this is all about the self parameter.